Welcome to the deep dive. We take fascinating topics, grab a bunch of sources, and really pull out the key insights.
Giving you that shortcut to being, well, properly informed.
Exactly. And today we're tackling a concept that might seem simple at first, the Jamatkhana. But trust me, as we dig into our source material today, it's a document called Jamatkhana.pdf. You'll find there's much more to it.
It's definitely not just about the bricks and mortar.
Right. It's a deep spiritual idea, rich history. That's our mission today, to pull out the most, well, insightful bits, maybe some surprising stuff too.
To get past that dense feeling you sometimes get with these topics.
So the big question, what is the Jamatkhana, really? Is it just a building? A meeting place?
Something more.
Yeah, how does it link up to, deeper spiritual understanding?
That's the perfect place to start. Because this source, it really pushes us past those surface definitions.
Okay.
We're looking at centuries of spiritual thinking wrapped up in this one concept. And you might find some familiar terms get interpreted in, well, pretty profound ways.
Moving from the literal to the inner meaning.
Precisely.
Okay, so let's dive in where the source does. It starts with this foundational idea that Islam's ultimate goal, fundamentally, is human perfection.
Intellectual and spiritual perfection. Yes.
Achieved by being filled with divine knowledge, with certainty. So with that big picture, where does the Jamatkhana fit in?
Well, it's tied very closely to the manifestation of God's light, the Khuda.
God's light, okay.
And the document makes it clear. This manifestation, this light, might seem present in a specific house, but God himself, totally beyond space and time.
Right, so the light isn't physically trapped there.
Exactly. It's more about a presence, a guidance that's focused or recognizable in that context.
Okay. But that does raise a question, doesn't it? If God is everywhere, truly limitless, why have a specific house of God?
Yeah, like the Jamatkhana, what's the need?
What's the thinking then?
Our source actually goes right at that paradox. It asks, what's its purpose? What benefit does it offer? Is it just another mosque?
And the answer is?
The text says it's fundamentally a spiritual training ground, a place to develop your spiritual faculties.
Ah, okay, training.
Yes, to work on overcoming inner impurities,
Right.
getting closer to God. So the focus is really on spiritual elevation, spiritual growth.
So much more than just physical worship or, meeting up.
Way beyond that.
Yeah.
And understanding that difference is key to grasping its real purpose.
And our document makes this interesting point, too. It suggests that if you reject this whole idea of a spiritual manifestation of God, you might actually miss out on true understanding and the spiritual benefits that come with it.
Yeah, it's like recognizing that non-physical aspect is almost a prerequisite for getting the real insight.
Interesting.
It is. And if you look historically, the source traces this neat progression. Early gatherings, communities getting together.
Right.
That eventually led to the development of mosques. And the Jamatkhana is shown as like a continuation of that spiritual line.
A continuation. How so?
Well, they give the example of the Prophet's mosque in Medina, Masjid Nabawi. It actually started super simple.
Oh.
Just a basic four-walled structure built right onto the Prophet Muhammad's own house.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That humble.
Yeah. It shows that evolution from something personal, almost humble, to more formal spiritual spaces. And that same idea applies to the Jamatkhana.
That's a powerful connection. And the source gives it several names, right? Multiple names for the Jamatkhana.
It does, yeah. And each one links it back to really significant Islamic ideas and Quranic references.
Like what?
Well, there's Baytullah, house of God, Baitul Mamur, the frequented house, Baitul Muqaddas, the holy house.
Familiar terms, yeah.
And then it's conceptually linked to places like Masjidul Haram, the sacred mosque in Mecca, and Masjidul Aqsa, the farthest mosque.
So it really underlines its deep roots, its spiritual heritage.
Absolutely. And what's compelling is how these names reinforce this idea of an unbroken chain.
A chain of
Divine presence, divine guidance, starting way back with Adam, peace be upon him, then through the prophets, and then the Imams.
always a source of spiritual direction.
Consistently. And the Jamatkhana, in this view, is part of that ancient, ongoing line of guidance and spiritual training.
Okay, let's go deeper then. The source talks about specific spiritual interpretations, like sajda, prostration. We often just think of the physical act, bowing down. But how does the document see it?
It offers a really profound take on sajda. It's not just the physical movement. It signifies absolute obedience.
Obedience to whom?
To the Imam of the time. The Imam is Aman. And more than that, It means really understanding intellectually and spiritually divine wisdom being shared.
So it's an inner state, not just an outer action.
Exactly, an internal submission and intellectual alignment. The text even points to Imam Ali's Kitab al-Islam on this.
Fascinating. And what about angels, Malaika? The source discusses them too, right?
Yes, and again, it pushes beyond just physical beings with wings. They're presented more as spiritual forces, forces that actually help believers connect with divine truth.
So they're active helpers in that spiritual connection.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Which really reinforces this view of the Jamatkhana as a place where these deeper spiritual realities are, well, experienced, facilitated even.
Right. It makes sense.
And this ties into another concept the source brings up, sakina.
Sakina, divine tranquility, peace.
Exactly that. It's mentioned in the Quran, too. And the source links sakina directly to that manifest presence of God, his light, Nuri Khuda, within the Jamatkhana.
So the presence of that light brings the peace.
That's what solidifies its sacred nature, yes.
Yeah.
And creates that profound sense of tranquility people feel.
Okay, now this next part really caught my eye. The explanation of Baytullah, house of God.
Yes, that's crucial.
Referencing the Quran, it says the house of God isn't just, say, the Kaaba in Mecca. It's not fixed to one building.
Correct. It signifies wherever the divine Imam is, wherever he resides or manifests his guidance.
So the physical building is a symbol.
A powerful symbol, yes. But the true house of God is where that divine light, that guidance, is actually present.
Which means the real benefit isn't from the bricks. It's from the spiritual guidance, the knowledge you receive there.
Precisely. It completely shifts how you might think about what makes a space sacred.
It really does.
And the source develops this even more with what it calls the four houses.
Four houses. Okay, what are those? Derived from the Quran, you said?
Yes, from a specific verse. It describes a sort of progression, a spiritual journey, if you will.
Okay, lay it out for us.
So the first house is Mecca, the Kaaba. Represents the start of revelation, physical pilgrimage, linked to prophets like Adam, Noah, Abraham. Foundational.
Got it, the beginning point.
Then the second house. This signifies a higher level, more spiritual light, more guidance needs. Nuri Hidayat, the text calls it. And this is specifically linked to the Imams and the divine knowledge they bring.
Okay, a step up in understanding.
Then the third house. This one's described as even deeper, more secret. A spiritual meaning focused on connecting people's hearts directly with the divine. More internal.
Heart-to-heart connection.
Right. And finally, the fourth house. This is presented as the ultimate, the highest divine house, where God's special manifestation is present.
Leading to
Profound spiritual tranquility, enlightenment. And this highest manifestation, the source argues, is embodied right there in the Jamatkhana, specifically through the Imam's presence and guidance.
Wow. That progression really highlights the Imam's role, doesn't it?
It makes it absolutely central.
The source uses Quranic verses like 33.21 and the example of Abraham, peace be upon him, to show that the Imam doesn't just attend the Jamatkhana. They are the Jamatkhana. In a spiritual sense, they bring it alive.
That's a great way to put it. They bring it to life. It's through the Imam that the spiritual blessings, the guidance, actually flow. They embody that divine presence in the space.
And that's where the real benefit lies.
Exactly. Our source calls the Jamatkhana a source of spiritual food, Ruhani Giza.
Spiritual food, I like that.
And this food comes directly through the Imam's presence, his guidance.
Yeah.
It's what nourishes you spiritually.
Leading to purification, developing those spiritual faculties we talked about earlier.
Yes. It's far more than just a physical meeting. The text even says, look, physical blessings might come from the universe around us.
Sure.
But the deep spiritual blessings, those come directly from the Imam's guidance. It's a whole system for inner growth.
What an incredible journey this deep dive has been, seriously. We started asking, is the Jamatkhana just a building? And by really looking closely at this source, we've uncovered just, wow, layers and layers of profound spiritual meaning.
It's amazing how a concept that seems straightforward can open up like that when you dig in.
It really is.
And what I find fascinating is how these texts, or at least how this source presents them, keep pushing us.
Pushing us how?
To go beyond the literal, to always seek that deeper spiritual understanding. It's like a constant invitation to keep growing, intellectually and spiritually.
To understand the why behind things.
Exactly. The why behind the practices, the beliefs.
So here's something to think about, maybe mull over after this. If the house of God isn't just a place, but can be this living, guiding manifestation through spiritual leadership. How might that change the way you think about other sacred spaces, or even your own search for knowledge, for meaning?
That's a great question. How does that idea of a living, evolving manifestation change how we pursue spiritual growth?
Right. Maybe it's not just about fixed locations. Maybe that divine connection, that guidance, is closer and more dynamic than we sometimes imagine.